Okay, hey everybody. It is Friday, August 29th, 2025. Just turned 6:45, right as I was saying that. 6:45 p.m. And we're going to go to a little store soon. As soon as he gets out, he's drinking his tea right now. So, but I've told him I'd come out here and make a little bit of a video while I'm waiting. But anyway, what I want to talk about is, I have been saying this and I have been making videos, even though I know this stuff, sometimes it just, it's not that it surprises me because I know this stuff. And as long as I've lived, there is a time when it goes from you're just studying, you're just learning, to where, you've gone through all the little stages to get, or big stages, to get to where it's just wisdom. But at the same time, sometimes, I don't know, I do know how to call it, but it's just, how do you make other people understand what you call it? You know what I'm saying? How you're feeling it, how you're seeing it, what you're thinking about it. But when people do things that you should be awed, and not in a good way, you just should be shocked that people would do stuff like that. And just for money, I should say this up front, just what people do for money. I'm not new to this world at all. 62 years old? No, I am definitely not new to what people will do for money. At all. That at all. But still, sometimes it's like, it's just that it's a new twist to an old game, That pretty much sums it up. It's just a new twist. And the one recently, and I really have to say, how in the world in my mind figure that one out? Because it is one of the most, I'd say, disgusting things that I could imagine somebody accepting to do to themselves, that should be instead humiliating to them. Now, I think we all know there are other things, but yeah. Like I'm saying, it's kind of hard to, I don't want to say what it is because it's that disgusting. And it might actually get me kicked off the platform because it's that disgusting. Seriously. I have been on YouTube for 11 years. 11. Last week was 11 years on my original channel. And I have I have made videos, I have seen videos from all kinds of things. And this is one of those things that, yeah, it's questionable if you should even mention it. But that's what I'm saying. How do I say it? In another way. But somebody would do something that's so humiliating. And like I said, there are other things we know about, things that you would see on TV. Or all these these streaming, what do they call them nowadays? It's an app to me. It's a, watch shows and series and movies and such, I really don't want to name any one in particular, but I will. Netflix or Prime, I call them apps. I call them by their name. Truthfully, really. There's going to be a new name before, let's see, let me guess. This is just my guess. I would say that they're going to call it something new within the next 10 years. Yeah, if they still exist after 10 years. Yeah. There's not something new. But anyway, this thing that has been bothering me, now I know it because, I'm not new to this world. But, what I'm not new to this world, to get back to this, about is how people see things differently. Or, I even did a video recently, I don't know if I put it up or what channel I'm going to put it up on, but about how sometimes people don't see things. There are so many things, reasons why people have. I have a little card here, like a social blindness, an attentional blindness, these are my highlights here. Differences in social cognition, neurodivergent conditions, and traits, and those were my highlights. But that's just some of it. But anyway, different reasons why people, quite literally even, don't see things when it's right there, like on video that somebody's doing, and they actually don't see it. Some of it, is like they don't want to see it because of various reasons. Like if they're watching a video and they really like this, this content creator, this person making the video. Some people don't know that that's a content creator. They think of them as influencers or whatever. But they really like that person, so they kind of they don't really, they can see what the person is doing, but they don't really allow it to get really in their head. I don't know how to express that. It's obviously, but you get what I'm saying. They see it, but they don't see it because they don't want to see it. They like that person too much, and they don't want that person to go away. They don't want to lose that person. They don't want to have a reason not to watch that person, or that person gives them. I've said so many times, in so many ways, and so many reasons. This person is supplying them with something that they need, and sometimes it's information on, like say a person that does the food delivery. They're giving them information on how to make more money, and they really need that. So they might overlook that person has some really, really bad habits, like hygiene, poor hygiene. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Or, the person they're watching is doing something that their mind, their mind cannot accept that somebody would do, I'm saying, my mind accepts the fact that they're doing it. And it's not, I'm not turning a blind eye, pardon me, to it. I see it. I acknowledge it, that this could be it. I'm just shocked that my mind could think that way, because that is so dark. And I'm not a dark-minded person. I'm not there. I don't want to be there. That's mine. But I accept the fact that this person could be doing something so disgusting and humiliating to them, to anybody. Anybody watching it may be humiliated, just from the empathy that they feel, the empathy they experience while watching it, and putting themselves in that shoe. Ooh, I would never want to do that. And just that feeling of, oh, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, Adam's going to be coming out soon. We're going to go. But it's so if I just suddenly end this, you'll know why, because then it's going to get busy. But, and then, then the thoughts come in, what is that person really, was something going on? And sometimes there's a question of why would it be that, what is deeper, what's going on, and having a good idea that there is that deeper thing going on, and or even the old thing, for the love of money. They're doing it for their love of money. They don't care how humiliating they become. Somebody told me to humiliate myself for them so I could get some money. We can't, many of us can't really place ourselves in their shoes, because we don't need it, and to try to, we don't need the money. And to try to, it takes us down to where we have to think about what would happen if we ever needed money. And, all that's hard. It's very hard. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to, but we think to ourselves, we don't know if, you really don't know what you do until you're in the situation, really. You know, that's my experience in life, and there could be exceptions to the rule, you know, but to me that's kind of like a rule. You really don't know what you would do until you're right there. And I don't want to be right there, okay? Not again. I mean, I've never done anything I don't have a love for money, so I've never had to do things for money that I normally wouldn't do. And by the way, it's not that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I think would immediately come to people's mind is, you know, I'm not talking about that. This is something that would be from this, it was not, I would say not really something you could think of has happened in the past, because it involves social media. You know, person having, I'm not saying anyone in particular, but it involves that. So it's not like it's something from the past that's been going on. You know, it's just something really, oh my goodness. Anyway.